The following video is brought to you by Kaleidoscope. Beautiful patterns of life. The tale of disregarding failures. What is common in all these newspapers?
These newspapers tell the stories of successful people in the society.
Do you notice anything common in these TV shows?
Bill Gates co-founded Microsoft nearly 50 years ago at the forefront of the computer age that changed the world.
It's not by coincidence. It's because I do it extra outside the pitch. When I'm 12 years old, most of the people told me, Cristiano, you are a very, very good talent player.
We use for overachievement. If I wasn't afraid at times, I wouldn't work as hard. You've got to take chances. You've got to gamble. And if you win 51% of the time, you got.
These different TV shows feature interviews with successful personalities.
Who are the most invited guests on your favorite radio channels?
Hey, welcome to Radio Oozy Boozy. You are listening to Jockey Zoe. Today we have the famous actor, film producer, businessman, bodybuilder, and politician Arnold Schwarzenegger with us in our studio. He will be sharing his success story with us.
Hey, welcome to Radio FM 007. You are listening to Jockey Raymond. Today we have Edson Arantes do Nascimento, better known by his nickname Pelé, was a Brazilian professional footballer who played as a forward. Regarded as one of the greatest players of all time and labeled the greatest by FIFA, he was among the most successful and popular sports figures of the 20th century.
Hey, welcome to Radio SBC London. You are listening to Jockey Oliver James. Today we have Elvis Aaron Presley, the most popular American singer and actor, a cultural icon and widely known by the single name Elvis, who is often referred to as the King of Rock and Roll or simply the King.
Successful people from different walks of life are the most invited guests.
If you observe, all these media platforms have taken into account those entities that have been successful and ignored those that have not been. This logical fallacy, which cherry-picks entities that are successful and ignores those that are unsuccessful, is termed survivorship bias. Survivorship bias is a typical logical fallacy that clouds our perception of reality. Let us understand the concept by taking some examples. The study of bomber aircraft from World War II is a well-known example of survivorship bias. It was statistician Abraham Wald at Columbia University who conducted research on World War II bomber planes. During World War II, Abraham Wald was a member of the Statistical Research Group, SRG, at Columbia University, where he used his statistical expertise to solve different wartime problems. What was the main objective of this research? The main objective was to assess the distribution of damage to aircraft that have completed missions in order to offer guidance on how to reduce bomber losses from the enemy's attack. In order to safeguard weak spots, the Army intended to armor the aircraft. However, it would be too heavy for the aircraft to deploy armor everywhere. To identify which parts of the plane needed to be strengthened, scientists first examined the planes that had returned to American bases, that is, the survivors. Later, Wald realized that the survivorship bias was at work. The surviving planes got hit in the observed locations and still returned. Thus, reinforcing these locations will not help. The worst hit planes never made it back. Thus, the areas hit on the surviving planes were in reality not at all the worst hit. Therefore, it's critical to infer the missing data about where the non-returning planes were hit. In fact, the spots on the survived planes not hit were actually the worst spots to be hit. Planes that were hit on those spots never made it back. Since the engineers primarily focused on data from the returning planes, they were initially misled by survivorship bias. Take note of how important information, such as the non-returning aircraft, was completely left out. Consequently, when you evaluate these issues, you're excluding a significant portion of the sample data. Thus, Wald suggested sending reinforcements to areas that were less well represented in the data from recovered aircraft. As a consequence, they were able to make more accurate estimates and save more lives. Let us consider another example. Okay. Google School Dropout Successful Entrepreneurs. You will find on top of the list some of the most famous billionaires such as Bill Gates from Microsoft, Mark Zuckerberg from Facebook, Michael Dell from Dell, Steve Jobs from Apple, and so on. These billionaires have attained success despite never attending or graduating from university. The allure of such stories is simple to comprehend. It is uplifting to hear of successful people overcoming obstacles. If successful people were able to become wealthy without a college education, then I have every reason to believe I can do the same. Yet again, survivorship bias is evident in this situation. Successful candidates are picked up while unsuccessful ones are just ignored. A totally different image shows up if you take a look at everyone who doesn't attend college rather than just the successful instances. Just for the sake of argument, let us compare briefly a graduated person against a no-college goer. Graduates enjoy highly paid salaries. They stand out to employers and are eligible for high-profile jobs with the access to latest technologies. And of course, they enjoy a stable and progressive career. On the other hand, no college goer struggles for average salaries. Comparatively, it is difficult for them to please employers. Often end up doing odd jobs or becoming self-employed. On your own, it is difficult or no access to the latest technologies. Usually, they suffer instability in terms of career paths. However, by attributing all of their success to hard effort, we disregard a crucial fact. For every successful college dropout, there are hundreds, if not thousands, who weren't as fortunate. While causality refers to instances when an action leads to an outcome, correlation solely refers to relationships. The association between successful entrepreneurs and university dropouts is more of a coincidence than a causal one. However, many wrongly believe that a relationship is a cause due to the survivorship bias. In conclusion, individuals tend to mistake how causes and consequences operate as a result of the survivorship bias. Asking oneself what's missing is the greatest method to recognize and solve the survivorship cognitive bias. When examining a particular data collection, take into account any other potential data points that may have been on the same route as the successful data points, but weren't included in the final data. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, give us a thumbs up and share it with your friends. Do not forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon.